Huey Lewis in the news and Aerosmith. You're listening to 102.3 WHTL in Whitehall, Wisconsin. It is 11 o'clock, 11:01, and it's time now for Open House with Hanson Real Estate Group.
It's time for the open house on WHTL.
What are you, some kind of real estate agent?
You're joking, right? I don't joke about real estate.
With the Hanson Real Estate Group.
I never understood why people are so afraid to eat at an open house.
I know.
The open house starts right now.
Every Wednesday here on WHTL Open House with our friends over at the Hanson Real Estate Group. And today, being joined by Jamie Back. Hello, Jamie.
Mark, how are you doing today?
Doing pretty good. Good to see you. And haven't seen you since the new year.
Yeah, the weather's changed, and it's great to be here. New Year 2025.
Hard to believe that it's the end of January already. I don't know. It doesn't seem all that long ago that it was New Year's, but
I don't know where the time goes, but just enjoy every day, Mark.
I know, I do, and it's going to be really nice tomorrow. 51 tomorrow, they're saying. So
well, it's not too bad out there today either. So.
No, we can live with this, and. Has it been a busy start to the year for you folks over in the real estate business and auction business?
Yeah, and weather does have a little bit to do with the real estate and auction business. And obviously, we just the 50 degrees and stuff, so we really haven't had the winter lull. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what I want to go into today with. I mean, if you're thinking about selling a house, Mark, now's the time. Them little things, preparing, trying to get what your house is worth, just doing the little checklist, because if your thoughts in 2025, we were thinking about marketing our house, now's the time.
I think a lot of people don't necessarily associate it, but preparation can be a key in selling a property. If you're prepared and you've got it set right and you do the work on the front end, I would think that it would make it a lot easier on the back end to actually move a property.
Absolutely, and just the little things about it. So one, what is your property worth? And that's where we can come out and start talking. Mm-hmm. But the little things, so maybe there's a ground fault or something that we can,
mm-hmm.
upgrade, or to just do the little things to get your property ready to put it on the market.
Mm-hmm.
And 1st of February is on this weekend.
Sure.
Spring, I think I saw something, spring is 50 some days away. So it's kind of crazy, but now's the time.
So when we're talking about pricing, everybody, of course, wants to get the top dollar possible when they're selling a property, whether it be a home or a parcel of land or whatever it may be. But how do you know what the right price is? And I assume that's where you folks at Hanson Real Estate Group can come into play, because you're experts at that.
Yeah, and truly, I think pricing your property is one of and probably the most number one things. So you want to be in the price range of what your house is worth. So that's where we come in, do some comparables. You don't want to be too high, and you don't want to be too low. You want to be priced so that we get those buyers that are looking for the correct price range. And us doing our comparables and doing the research of what your property is worth is probably the number one key. Because what happens is, say you get too high.
Right.
Well, you're not looking at the right buying crowd or the clients.
Right.
And if you're too low, but being right in there, pricing it right and selling it within that 30-day period is the key.
Mm-hmm. It probably, okay, let's say you overprice it and then you have to lower the price. People look at that funny too. They're like, why are they having to lower the price, right?
Well, yeah, exactly. And sometimes there's absolutely nothing wrong with your property.
Right.
But you're not drawing the right people that are looking at the the price range or where you should be in, and then it gets stigmatized where it's like, oh, what's wrong with that property?
Sure.
And there's absolutely nothing wrong with it but the price.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where we can come in, and like I said, now is the time for us to start doing that research, looking at it, preparing you as a seller to get ready for your putting your market on the property.
And you're right. You mentioned it's almost February. By the time you close on a property, it's going to be towards the end of February. You're going to be moving in spring, really.
Yeah, exactly. For a 45-day closing and time you get the buyers out there, if you're looking for a spring, and one thing about a new year brings new buyers, new sellers. It's a refresh, and we're here. It's time to get them going and start thinking about putting them on the market.
Now, let's say you're on a budget and, you've got the house price right, but you want to stage it. Staging is really important, too, making sure that the house is presentable. How do you do that? What's the best way to do that?
Well, and the little things of like decluttering, and, maybe you got the Christmas tree up and stuff like that, but just kind of get it show ready. And every house is different. Maybe just moving a few pieces of furniture, doing things so you can get in, or the basement, the utility room is a very important room where you got your breaker box and your water heater and it's all piled with boxes or totes or like any other house that we all have, but just so it's really accessible and you can see the important parts of a property.
So it looks organized and not messy.
Yes, that's a nice way of saying it. Yep. So it's just got good flow to it.
That makes a lot of sense because, you only get that one chance to make a first impression. And if you walk into a place and you go, oh, then it's hard to overcome that.
Yeah, and that's with anything. When you drive into a property, if you had a little piles of brush or, things, kind of get that stuff cleaned up and get it presentable for a good eye when you roll into the driveway. Okay,
and inspections, very important part of the process.
Yeah, so that's the little thing. So obvious things as we as realtors go through a property and maybe the breaker box cover is off or there's an electrical box or there's a cracked outlet or there's a leaky faucet or little things like that. That's things that we can do prior to us putting the property on that are little bitty things. Obviously, inspections are very important for real estate and, knowing if GFIs and stuff like that don't work, but the obvious view, cracked window or things where we could take care of before putting them on the market.
That makes sense. You want to make sure that everything is up to par and, they're not going to walk into the property and consider buying it. Oh, well, we're going to have to replace this and replace that. And, all of a sudden they start adding up into people's minds.
Yeah, absolutely. And just the first impression is big, like we just talked about.
And, I know the last thing you want to talk about is marketing, because that is such an important part of selling property. And one thing I think that I've noticed about Hanson Real Estate Group, and talking to all your professionals over there and looking at your websites and looking at, your Facebook page, your marketing department is second to none.
Yeah, the good old days of just putting a sign in the front yard and waiting for somebody to call or over, Mark. And getting it out there, taking good quality pictures, drone pictures, and getting it on the social media, coming on WHTL, talking about the properties, and getting it out there to the people who are looking for the right property.
Makes a big difference.
It's huge. It's cutting edge. I mean, we can get them out there immediately. They can see them. And then obviously personal contacts are huge too. We have myself, Jackie, Josh, our whole crew there. Have a clientele that are people looking for. So personal contacts are huge too.
I think it was Jackie when she was in here a week or two ago was talking about the numbers on your social media and your websites from your marketing department and the number of people that actually visit, and it was astounding.
Yeah,
I was amazed.
Mind-boggling on how and where we reach out to the people, and just to be able to track it. But the good old days.
And every state.
Yeah, every state, but how many females look at the property, how many males, the age group, stuff like that. So you kind of know where your advertising dollars are going, and your target points of and every property is different. So it's kind of nice to know and some results to see what's happening with the marketing program.
That can really help when you're selling a property. It really can. Okay, well, you've got a couple that you want to mention. And let's go ahead and do that here real quick.
Yeah, let's start. So just currently listed, and this one's coming up in auction. It's 105 acres of tillable land just outside the city limits of Arcadia, all vacant. It's going to be coming up in auction on the 17th of February, Mark. Just
Wow.
a great. Now you might think it's ag, but this also could be developed. There's multiple uses of this property.
Is it zoned residential and commercial, or?
Well, part of it, the front part has been, and then there's been some development looked at. It hasn't been currently developed, but if you're looking to develop some land or build some lots, there's lots of possibilities here. And this is probably some of the prime ag land in the area. One chunk, 105 acres, hard to find piece of property.
Wow, you don't see 105 acres around here very often.
Yeah, and it's just a great property. We are not going to do an open house, but we are doing private showings. Obviously, me and Jake would probably sit out there today. It'd be a good day, but if you want to take a look at this, just give myself or Jake a call. We'll happy to take you out there. You can drive to all corners of it. It's just a great.
Right.
It lies perfect, and it's a half a country song away from our city limits of Arcadia too.
Wow.
So.
And this is an online auction only.
Yes, that is correct. So you can go to our website,
All right.
Hanson Auction Group. It's currently up. We have all the maps, the aerial maps, the survey maps, the soil maps, the drone footage is all up. So take a peek at it. But if you have any questions about it, give us a call. We'd be happy to take you out there.
Great. And then you've got another property in Arcadia as well.
Yeah, this is a great little property on a dead end road. Also, just a few minutes out of Arcadia. 3-bedroom, 2-bath, beautiful dead end area. Nice detached garage. Listed for $340,000. It's on Ben Slobby Lane. If you're just looking for something in the country with a few acres, this is it. You have to come take a look at it.
Yeah, this looks like a really pretty property. Now, is this a conventional or?
Yep, that's a conventional listing.
is,
So you can
okay.
just call and we'd be happy to set up a showing. One I forgot here, Mark, is I just currently, and the ink is wet, but in the main drag of Independence, that's the old Smeetek Implement Building, or where Sense and Sensibility is. I just listed that yesterday. That's for sale. It's on Washington Street, or right across from Silver's, I guess, would be
Sure.
a spot right there.
Yep.
On the market, but you won't find it on the website yet because I haven't put it all up there. But the sign's going up today, listed for $189,900. So a great commercial property. It's got
Wow.
3 business fronts. It's a huge, big lot that goes down behind, and it has a bunch of storage units. So somebody looking for a commercial front or putting a business in Independence, great little spot with lots of income possibilities.
Wow.
Like I said, storage units, place to build. Tons and tons of information. So watch our website. That one's going to be coming too, Mark.
All right, that'll be great. Right there in Independence on Washington Street. And before we wrap up, not real estate, but you've got something you want to talk about and somebody to give a shout out to.
Yeah, so to my wrestling fans, and kudos to my good buddy Wiley Dunn, but Thursday night is the Independence Wrestles Whitehall for the conference championship.
Well, you got some skin in that game.
Yeah, I got a son wrestling right here, but it's a good old 121 highway rivalry right there. So I believe it starts at 6 o'clock. It's there's some all the Dairyland schools are going to be there, but 6 o'clock on Thursday night, I believe it starts. I think Independence and Whitehall might be just right after that. But if you're looking for some really, really good wrestling, I'd like to get the gym filled up there for that meet, and then also Saturday. The Independence Ice Fishing Contest, the granddaddy of them all, the Indy Invite is also going on Saturday. I believe it starts around 9:30 at Independence High School. There's 19 schools there. Also a really, really good wrestling tournament. So if you're looking to check some really good wrestling, Thursday and Saturday are going to be some great days to check it out.
That'll be awesome, and good luck to your son. How about that?
Thanks, Mark.
What class is he wrestling
He's
in?
a 165-pounder for Independence Gilmington.
All right, well, there you go. You heard it here. Good luck to all the teams, and that Independence Wrestling invite is huge. That's big.
It is, yeah. So check it out. A lot of good stuff,
All
Colin. If you want to get a hold of me, feel free to give me a call. My cell phone is going to be 715-797-0802, or else check us out on the website.
All right, Jamie back with Hanson Real Estate Group. Thank you, Jamie.
Thanks for having me.
Great information as usual. Check out their website, Hanson Real Estate Group. And we always appreciate them coming in for open house every Wednesday here on WHTL.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you, sir.
Always a pleasure coming in. So
Always a pleasure seeing you, too.